Hey there, everyone. Welcome to the FitELITE Strong Podcast, episode 1000.
Oh, wow. We went fast through that.
No, it might just be number 8. I'm not. I think 9? 8 or 9?
It's 9.
It's not 6 or 7, though, right? It's 9. Okay. 9. Episode 9. And where we talk about all things lifestyle, health, fitness related. At FitELITE, we believe in being strong for life. And what that means is not only strong for today. And, I want to clarify, it's not just physically strong, but that's mentally strong, emotionally strong, being able to be there for everybody that you want to be there for and do all the things you want to do, not only now, but into the future. So, FitELITE, we're strong for life. Right, yes. Core? Sweet. He says, the man of many words today. Yes. Let's see how few words we can get him to talk about today. Well, that's not true. I want you talking a lot, Corey. Otherwise, it's just me talking. And I was harassed in class today about giving an essay answer, Gene. Not to point fingers, but it's accurate. I was giving a long answer to a short question, and that's how I operate. So we'll work to make sure I share some of the limelight with you today.
Sounds great.
Good? Okay, perfect. All right. So last time we were out here, last podcast, we talked about being consistent, right? And how consistency is kind of the key to having success, because we can do things every once in a while, but staying consistent is the key to longevity and establishing the things that we want to change for us, right? So, but the question becomes okay, that's great, but how do I actually go about getting consistent in the first place? And today, I think that's what I know that's what we're going to talk about. It's not just willpower and just doing it. There's a strategy and a system that you can use that really gets those habits there, so they are consistent for you.
Yeah. So we're going to get tactical today.
Tactical. We are
these things.
Yeah, we're last time it was shotgunny, where we're hey, here's things you should do, and now we're getting laser, we're lasering right in on it, right? Lasering right in on it all right, here's the way you can do it specifically. A way. There's multiple ways, but this seems to be a really good one. Now, I know you've read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear.
70% of the way through.
I got 100% of the way through, but I'm gonna be completely honest. I did not read it.
You didn't listen to
it. I listened to it, and I probably read along for part of it. That's my strategy, folks. When I'm reading a book, I'm not a good reader. I can read. I don't mean I can't understand the words, but I'm very slow in reading. Don't necessarily love reading, and then my mind starts drifting. So I do an audio, an audible book, and the actual book at the same time. And I turn up the speed on it. So I'll 2 times speed, because you can comprehend faster than you can talk. And I talk fast. So that's,
typically when you're reading, you're saying each word in your head, which
I do.
That was supposed to not do. I do that.
Right. I didn't learn that technique. In first grade, they taught me to read by reading out loud. I don't know how I'm supposed to change that. That's how I learned.
Old.
Because I'm old. I'm 50. So so when I read, it's slow. Audible at 2 times and following along.
That actually increases your comprehension.
I comprehend more, so I learn more. So that's how I did it. I listened to some of it. I believe I was putting up a hockey rink at the time outside, and I also follow along in some of it. So I've read it a couple times, listened to it a couple times, consumed it. I've consumed it a couple times, but in there, it goes into a strategy that can be employed to really creating consistency. Hard word for me to say. And what is that strategy, Corey?
Habit stacking.
Habit stacking. So what is habit stacking? What does it mean when we talk about habit stacking?
Yeah, it just means that we are attaching a habit that we want to build to what we're already doing.
Right. So it could be after I do something,
brush my teeth,
I will do this. Right. Well, right. We'll talk about that later. But after I do after I do something that I'm already doing, I stack this new habit onto this thing that I'm already doing all the time. We'll call it an anchor today, or this core habit that we're already doing, right? So why does that work?
Because you're already consistent with something, and it's a trigger in your mind to do the other habit. Right. Oh, I'm brushing my teeth, then I do this.
Right. So it's the first thing, that anchor or that core habit is already that path's been grooved in there, right? So it's the thing that I just do, and it doesn't really require any effort for me. But when I want to add something to it, I'm gonna piggyback on something that's already grooved in. So now this new habit can get grooved in. Does that sound? So like an example of that you talked about. So, after I brush my teeth, I'm going to do 10 push-ups, or after I brush my teeth, I'm going to go for a 20-minute walk, or I'm going to, do my daily reading, or whatever that new habit you want to create is. You're triggering it to that brushing my teeth in the morning. I'm going to go do this thing. Cool. So let's talk about how that can be. Let's give some people. Was there anything you want to expand on that? I mean, it's super simple. That's the thing. I think that's kind of the beauty of it, is that it is so simple that people can just start employing that and using it right away. So I think what we want to do is let's give some like stacks people can just steal and implement right away that can kind of jumpstart their success in creating these new habits. So like, okay, let's say, so we do strength training here, right? What's a way that I can, we know that progress comes with being consistent. So what is a way from our training or workouts that we can start that consistent habit? How would you stack that? How would you?
Are you saying like
stack that?
Do more workouts, or
do it in the first place, right? Because sometimes you're not being consistent. We talked about being consistent, and it's not a habit for a lot of people. What's the strategy they could use with habit stacking?
Like after I drop my kids off, I go to class.
Right. Easy enough, right? Because you're already taking your kids to school or daycare or whatever. It's already happening. Now I do this. Or, it might be after I get done with class, I'm going to reserve my next class. Right. Or I'm trying to think of another one. Or we talked about this, like the walking. After I brush my teeth, I'm going to go for a walk. Or I'll do my mobility or whatever that might be. But it's pretty simple, right? Something I'm already doing. After I do that, then I do this. All right, sleep. So we had that. You and Dave talked about sleep. I missed that one. I think I was taking a nap somewhere. So I was gone somewhere. I think I was at hockey probably somewhere. Yeah. All right. So like some of the things you guys talked about in the sleep episode, which I watched the other day. What are some of give me a habit stack that you could do to help with that? Some of those sleep habits. Do you have anything that pops to mind?
We're going to use brush my teeth a lot here. After I brush my teeth, I start to wind down. So whether that's put phone away, turn off electronics, grab a book, whatever it could be. So if you're struggling with something like you're watching too much TV at night and you can't fall asleep because you're engaged in something, after I brush my teeth, I shut off electronics, I meditate or I read.
Right. So like one of them might, like you said, might have been, one of your habits you're trying to create is a nighttime routine, or like a nighttime routine. And one of those might be, I'm going to meditate for 5 minutes or reflect on my day. So what you're saying is, and I think it's a great example, is, okay, after I turn off the TV or after I put my pajamas on, it is going to be, I'm going to take my 5-minute, 10-minute reflection or meditation, because I'm already going to go to bed. So as soon as I'm done with that, I do that next thing and stack it right on there. Okay. I love it. How about nutrition?
I mean, if you're somebody that struggles with protein and you're consistent with workouts, after I do my workout, I drink my protein shake.
Sure. Yep. So you're doing the workout.
Right? 30 grams extra.
Yep.
Get you close to your target.
I love it. And another one, there's lots of nutrition strategies, and some of that is like, so you don't overeat, is to like drink a glass of water before you eat. So it could be like, when I sit down to eat, I'll drink a glass of water, and then you go in and have your meal. Or
so the habit doesn't have to be after already.
Correct.
It could be before.
Right.
But it's the cemented core habit that's triggering you for this new one.
Right. Exactly. How about, like, we talked about creatine or something. We talked about creatine a few episodes ago, and there's other supplements. Like, what kind of habit stacking can I do to get consistent with that? Because sometimes that's hard when it's a new, especially if it's like pills or something. It can be hard to be consistent with your supplements. What's a way I could stack those things?
So just with any meal, I would say, as I eat breakfast, if you don't eat breakfast, as I eat lunch, I take these supplements.
So I do it with creatine. In the morning, after I have my coffee, after I make my coffee, I have my creatine. I don't personally mix mine in my coffee. I just like a little creamer in my coffee. But I do like make my, most recently, it's a little bit of beetroot Yeah, it's good though, because then I put electrolytes in it with it. Gives it a little sweet and salty with the beetroot and my No, it doesn't taste like dirt. Well, Corey, we'll talk about this at a different day. Your palate is not as refined as mine. Yeah, it's very immature. You have an immature palate. That's what I'm gonna say.
All right, you snob.
Yeah. So, but I will make that. It's the beetroot, electrolytes, and I'll put my creatine with that, and I shake it up, and I'll drink it. Start drinking it then, and drink it. Over the next. I finished it about an hour ago, so kind of that's my hydration in the morning is putting all that stuff together in the morning. So it's about all right. I make my coffee because I'm having the coffee. I'm making it. That's part of my morning routine. Now it triggers me to go get my creatine ready.
Yeah, for me it's as I get to the office, I take my creatine. So as I get to the gym, I'll take my creatine.
Right. Perfect. So like the biggest thing is, and I think one of the big takeaways from this is from this part of it is when creating new habits or starting something new can require a lot of work. But by anchoring it to something you already do, it requires way less effort because I'm already doing the one thing. It's easy enough to just one more little thing on top of it. And we gave a lot of great examples that people could steal or modify for themselves, like if they're struggling in any of these areas. And the thing is, we're talking about fitness and wellness areas, but that can go for anything, right? Like it can go for things at work. If you're a procrastinator at work, or if you tend to sit too long or whatever, it can be, hey, after my Tuesday meeting, I'm going to take a walk up and down the stairs or whatever. Or after I get done with this call I have every week, I'm going to get up and stretch. Or various very simple things that you can do. Or I guess those are still wellness related, but like if I'm a person who doesn't, I have a project I'm working on, but I keep procrastinating on it because I don't want to do it. If I can anchor that to something I'm going to be doing, okay, after that Tuesday call, I'm going to work on this project for 30 minutes, for an hour, for whatever. Like you set that time. So now if procrastination is my issue on this project, I can anchor it to something that is already going to happen. And it becomes like part of and I can put it in my schedule. It becomes part of the thing that I do. So all the time I'm working on this project after that's something I'm going to be doing for sure. So it's not just here. It's not necessarily just habits. It's about accomplishing tasks too. We stack the things you're already doing. Less effort.
Building on improving your life.
Yep. 100%. And the other thing is we're talking about things we can habit stack to create new habits. We can also do some habit stacking to break bad habits or old habits that we don't want to keep anymore, right? So like, for example, like instead of grab my phone, so a lot of people do this. Do you do this, people out there? When you wake, do you? I really do not. When you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is grab your phone. And so when you grab your phone, what's the first thing you do when you look at it?
What are my notifications?
Okay. So you look at your notifications right away?
Somebody messaged me while I was asleep.
Yeah. Okay. Got it. So you check those right away.
At 8 p.m. and people are still awake and they message me. And I respond to them at 4 a.m. and they probably don't respond for 4 hours after that.
That's true. Do you reply back to them at 4 a.m.?
Just let them know.
Yeah. Hey, sorry I missed this. I was sleeping. Hopefully I didn't wake you. Oh, gotcha. Got it. Okay, so you check all the like text messages, emails, or just text messages, or like I don't know if you're on Snap or whatever. Yeah. Okay, got it. How long do you do that for? Then you're scrolling. Then he's doing. So what a productive morning routine you have so far.
So let's say. Then we let the dog out, and then we make breakfast, drink coffee, read, reflect, get on with the day.
Got it. So how much time do you spend on your phone in the morning?
Probably 15 minutes.
Oh, okay. That's not horrible. If that's your like wake up thing, I like the TV. Like I don't go on stuff too much. I like TV is how I kind of wake up. That's what I'm saying. So that's what I
thought you were saying you're better than me.
I wasn't. Well, I am, but that's not what I was saying there. What I was saying is like we all have these things. And I don't think that's horrible what you're doing. But let's say that was something you didn't want to do anymore. Yeah, it's not horrible. Let's say you're like, hey, listen, I don't need to be on my phone, like getting all amped up first thing in the morning. I'd rather do What some of the other stuff you do in your morning routine? You make a coffee, you do some reading. Okay, let's say you got up and you said, I want to do my reading instead, right? I don't want to go to my phone right away. So instead of grabbing my phone after waking up, I'm going to read for 10 minutes. And so now you've created this, I'm waking up. And so instead of doing one thing, I'm going to replace it with a different thing. Because your checking your phone is already habit stacked. So I need to unstack it and put a new habit in there. So that's one way you can go about breaking some of the old habits or bad habits.
Start the habit at night of, before I go to sleep, I'm putting my phone away in a different spot. So that when I wake up, it's not the first thing I can grab.
That's a good one too. Move it across the room, and that way it's not within arm's reach. Yep. I love it. The other one is like, you could do like a habit sandwich. Yeah, like not to eat though. I know it's kind of lunchish. It is noon, right, as we're recording this for us. Maybe not as you're listening to it, but when we're recording, it's noon, and Corey gets hangry around this time, so he'll be having some smoked chicken later on. I presume. Is that accurate? Yeah, he smoked a chicken this weekend, and it smells delicious. I have not yet been offered a bite of it,
And you won't be.
I will not be offered any of his food.
That's for me.
Because it's Corey's, and he's very territorial on his smoked chicken. And
just like my dog.
Rice,
like, you don't mess with our food.
No, I get it. I totally understand it. I totally understand it. If I'm out to eat, and people say, "Hey, can I have a bite of yours?" Like, I'll trade with, give you a bite of mine. I go, well, no. If I wanted yours, I would have ordered yours. I want the one I'm having.
Like if a female significant other,
like my wife,
fries.
I don't really care that much, and I've actually become a lot more lax about it. I used to be very much more like, "Hey, can we trade bites?" And I'm like, "Well, I don't actually want what you have, and I really want all of what I have, and I want some of what you have."
So how could you have it stack that?
I could. I don't really know. I'm just gonna keep it the way it is. But the habit sandwich, back to the habit sandwich, was like, you can wrap that new habit between two anchors. So I think, like, for example, using your morning routine, when I wake up, I'm going to read for 10 minutes, my new habit, which actually in a new habit is just move to a different spot because you're eliminating the bad habit. And then I'm going to go make my coffee. And you might have a few things that you're doing before you get to your phone, right? So you can kind of put the new one in between two other anchors, which I think in a lot of ways really solidifies that as your new habit, because you've got these two
triggers
now
in your brain to remember to do this.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's what we mean when we say the core habit is your trigger to remember, so you don't have to like worry about forgetting about it. Because I think that's what a lot of people do when they're starting a new habit, is they forget about it. Oh, I didn't do that today. Well, you didn't have a good anchor to trigger your brain to go, oh, I need to do this because I wanted to start doing this.
And then yes, and then when you create, and here's the thing we talked about before, is having this new thing become part of your identity. And when we talked about in the previous podcast, every time that you complete the new habit or the new thing that you want to do, you create more confidence, and it just becomes more and more of who you are. And so now we talked about that identity being something that you take some pride in. And I'm the type of person who, when I we mentioned Ben Bergeron when we talked about that, but I'm the type of person who wakes up in the morning and does their reading first, to use your example. So again, it really dives back into all these things, creating this identity of who the person I want to be is. And that, again, it comes from being consistent, of stacking those habits and having it accumulate over time to really, I am that person.
You mentioned earlier, like, poor anchors. And so what we mean by that is like something that you're not doing every single day. Right. If it's a once a week habit that you do, sure, it's a habit, but it's not something that you're going to be able to anchor something onto and consistently remember to do it. Right. So we want to make sure that when we're picking a habit to anchor to, it's something that we're doing every single day. Right. So we're thinking about really small tasks, really mundane things that we're doing every single day that we don't forget about. And we want to attach something to that we can do every single day. So it should be small. Right. And when we're talking about habit stacking, we're talking about things that are small, easily accomplished. So that way you can start building on that. So it's the same thing as we talked about last week on the consistency episode. It is a small thing that we're slowly improving upon and making into the person that we want to become. And that's what's going to get you success.
Yeah, 100%. Like, so for example, I don't shave every day. I would get a little scruffy. You don't shave every day either because you have a beard. But there was a time in life where I did shave every day because I had a different job, wore a suit, and I shaved every day. Then it would have been a great anchor. Now, not as great an anchor, because if I say after I shave, I'm going to, I don't know, take my creatine or whatever. So that, for me, that's not a good one, right? So like what you're alluding to, there are mistakes that we can do with habit stacking. And one of those is a weak anchor. Another one is like, okay, so for you, and you want to create new habits, after I wake up, I'm going to read 10 minutes. I'm going to go for a 20-minute walk. I'm going to have a tall glass of water with my electrolytes in it. And I'm going to do this. And I'm going to do this. And you're stacking the next thing you know, 7 things on with one thing. And pretty soon it just collapses because it's just, and we talked about it before, and you mentioned it, it just becomes a little bit too much. So your advice there would be to
start with one thing at a time.
Yeah. And then it takes a little time because the other thing is
2 to 3 weeks of consistency. And then it's like starting to become more routine.
Right. Because that's the other problem or mistake we see is like you start it, but you don't stay with it for 2, 3, 4 weeks, which is what it really takes to groove that path. We talked about grooving the path of different things that we do, that we currently do. It takes that 2, 3, 4 weeks to get there. And if I stop before that, then it's not going to stick. I'm not really stacking a habit. I'm just doing something occasionally, and I'm not going to be consistent with that.
The mistake would be you're consistent for, let's say, a week. You miss a day, and you're like, oh, all right, I'm done with that.
Right. Over. See, I can't even do it. Right. For sure. Or like being too vague. Like if I say, you know what? When I wake up, I'm going to be healthier. Well, that doesn't even mean, yeah. What are we talking about here? Like how do you, in what way? So instead of that, like when I get up, I'm going to do 10 push-ups. When I get up, I'm going to go for my 20-minute walk or whatever that is. So be specific on that new habit that you want to create. Otherwise it's, yes, the end goal is you're going to be healthier, whatever that means for you, but there's certain things you have to do to get to that point. Those are the new habits you want to create. The healthier is the end product of creating those new habits. So being vague is
I want to eat healthier. Very vague.
Right. Right.
When I go to the grocery store, I'm going to buy 3 different vegetables.
Right. That's a great one. Yeah, because you're going to the store. Yep.
That's a good one. Anchored. And again, that's probably once a week, but it's where you're going to do all your shopping at once. So it's not like it's a daily thing that needs to occur.
Right. But it allows you on that daily, then I'm going to have a vegetable with every, when I sit down to eat or when I go to make dinner, I'm having a vegetable with every meal or every dinner or whatever. So it sets you up for success in that other habit that you're stacking there. Awesome. Anything else that you can think of, like mistakes or strategies for habit stacking that we haven't touched on here?
I don't think so.
All right.
Because it's such a simple concept, there's so many different applications that you could have with it. And like we said, try to start small with it. Don't do 5 different habits anchored onto 5 different current habits right away.
Right.
Start with 1.
Right.
Make sure you're doing it for 2 weeks. Then add another.
Right.
I think the problem with anything is the expectation of how fast you should be getting results. So if you are doing one habit, you're like, oh, that's not fast enough. I got to go faster. I got to go faster. Well, you have like a long life. Like Shane might have another 40 years. That's a long time. What do you need results for in 3 weeks?
Right. Exactly. That's very true. People, well, because everything happens now. All right. How about this? Let's give a challenge to everybody listening. Yeah. Do you like a challenge? All right. Here you go. Pick the one thing. Pick one habit that you want to start. All right. And then step 2, pick one thing that you already do every day. And you're going to combine those 2 things together. That's the habit stacking. And then you write it down. After I do my current thing, I will do the new habit you want to create. And then like make it like you talked about it. Make it like stupid small, like super easy. And then because when you make it super small, it's almost impossible to fail. And so you're gonna pick your habit you want to start. You're gonna pick your anchor, the thing you already do. You're gonna make it super simple and small, and you're gonna write it down so you know what it is. And then what I'd like you to do is reach out to us. Like, let us know in a month. Were you able to stick with it? Like, shoot us an email, message us on social media. We want to know, were you able to stick through it? What happened? What did you stack? It'd be great to hear what those things are so that we can, you share that with other people and think, oh, that's a great idea. I never thought about stacking that thing. So let's get after that a little bit. Let's pick a new habit. Let's pick an anchor. Let's write it down, and let's make it super simple, and then share that so we can kind of see how this all works and really start that first habit change. Sound like a plan? I don't know what mine is yet. I'm gonna think on that because I'll do it. I'm gonna think on it. So by the time we post this, I'll have mine ready to go. Sound like a plan? All right, sweet. So today, guys, we talked about habit stacking. And again, that's the simple process of taking something you already do and putting a new thing that you want to do attached to it. Make it simple. Start small and build up. It's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Because we all have these things that we want to change a little bit at a time. Keep it simple. Don't do too many things, and you're going to see success. If there are other areas that you want to learn more about this, you can find, you could read Atomic Habits. It's a great book about creating new habits. So I highly encourage you to read that, or find other books that really talk about creating new habits. Listen to this podcast. If you think someone else is like talking about this sort of thing and this would be beneficial to them, share it. Share the podcast with them. We'd love that. We'd love if you follow our podcast. You give us a 5-star review, of course. But hopefully you're seeing value. If you are seeing value from this, please share this out because we're trying to reach as many people as possible. And so again, it's part of our philosophy of being strong for life. And a lot of this is from our fitness and wellness standpoint, but this is just also from a mental and emotional standpoint that we can be the strongest version of ourselves, so we can have as much impact as possible. So, Corey, anything else we leave? All right, y'all. Thank you. Till next time.